Let's go to Alex Ryvchin now, who's the co-CEO of the Executive Council of Australian Jewry. Thanks for joining us, Alex. I appreciate your time. Tell us firstly about your reaction when you first heard this news on the weekend about the hostages being rescued.
I couldn't believe it. You know, in my house, there were tears of joy that we haven't experienced for a long time. There's been little to be joyful about in the past 8 months, but to know that 4 hostages are free, that 4 lives have been redeemed in this way. And as you mentioned there at the outset, Noa Gamani is someone who really touched our community. You know, her story resonated. That image of her being hauled away by savages to captivity, the story of her mother with terminal brain cancer, with whom Noa has now been reunited, the fact that 2 of her best friends traveled to Australia as ambassadors, as her voice, to raise awareness of her plight. And we connected with those people and we spoke with them. We found out about what Noa was like, what she experienced and what she felt in those last moments as she was communicating with her friends just prior to her capture. So to see her free, to see those images of reunion, it's one of the most beautiful things that I can recall. But the reaction, as you rightly pointed out, has been, on the one hand, extraordinary, and on the other hand, completely true to form.
Yeah, I'll go to that reaction in just a moment. But first up, let's think about, we know around about 120 hostages still unaccounted for. Now, I think no one can be accurate about this, but there are expectations, I think, that at least half of those are dead. We don't really know. We never would have expected to see these 4 hostages come out alive and healthy. What hope is there that there can be more rescues?
It's very difficult to know. I mean, this operation was planned for weeks and weeks and weeks. The Israelis knew for a long time where they were, but in order to go in, to extract them safely, to protect the soldiers, and to avoid widespread civilian casualties, this is a highly complex operation. This is the likes of the Entebbe raid, the capture of Eichmann in Argentina. This is the sort of thing this invokes. So it's very difficult. Does Israel know where other hostages are at the moment? I'm sure they do. Is it planning to get them out? No doubt. But the circumstances are difficult. And no doubt now, Hamas, after seeing what Israel will do, the lengths it will go to liberate its citizens, no doubt it'll become even more complex and challenging to get them out.
Now, you mentioned the reaction. Look, we shouldn't be surprised by anything that's thrown at Israel by its critics. But the idea that these people are innocent hostages, been held for 8 months. There's obviously a pinpoint operation to go in there, an incredibly risky operation. In fact, one IDF soldier lost his life conducting this rescue. The fact that Israel can be criticised for this operation, to me, is almost beyond belief.
Well, every civilian death is solely the responsibility of the Palestinian leadership in Gaza, which is Hamas. As you said, they could have yielded up these hostages. They could end the war today. When the commandos went in to liberate these 4 hostages, they could have let them go. But of course, they're not going to do that. They responded with RPG fire, which is inaccurate machine gun fire, which no doubt caused some of the civilian casualties. So obviously, in that circumstance, Israel is going to respond to try to extract its soldiers and the hostages. It's going to respond to that fire. And in that fire, in a densely populated civilian area where Hamas chose to keep the hostages, with families, mind you, with ordinary families, doctors and journalists held these captives in their homes. So no doubt there will be civilian casualties. It's inevitable. But every lost life from the very beginning until today is the responsibility of Hamas. And the fact that many in the world are blaming Israel for launching this daring commando raid to liberate its citizens, it's astounding, truly.
It sure is. Anyway, Alex, thanks so much for joining us and sharing us your thoughts and insights into that. I appreciate it.
Thank you so
Alex
much.
Ryvchin there, who's with the Executive Council of Australian Jewry.